Ladies and gentlemen, trouble mounts for Ashneer Grover, former managing director at Bharat Pay, and his wife Madhuri Jain as they were stopped at the Indira Gandhi International Airport on Thursday evening while they were traveling to New York. The action comes after a lookout circular was actually issued earlier this week by the Economic Offences Wing of the Delhi Police. That's amid the ongoing investigation against the two for alleged fraud at Bharat Pay. The investigation into the alleged fraud at Bharat Pay has uncovered unexplained payments allegedly made to not one, multiple HR firms that have been directly or indirectly linked to Ashneer Grover, his wife and other members of his family. The accused allegedly used backdated invoices to move funds from Bharat Pay's account for payment of commissions for recruitment work. In fact, this document that I am holding right now is the status report that has been submitted by the Delhi Police's Economic Offences Wing, which largely talks about the multiple consultancy firms that have been linked during the investigation to Ashneer Grover's family members. A charge that has been completely denied by Ashneer Grover with regards to whether at all funds were actually siphoned or not. In fact, he's taken to the social media platform indicating two important aspects. One, he says that with regards to why exactly was he stopped by the Immigration Department. This, when the investigation began in the month of May, at that point in time, there was no lookout circular. In fact, after he returned home, once he was stopped at the airport, the summons reached his doorstep. Now, essentially, that's part of the protocol or the procedure, just for the understanding of our viewers, that once there is a lookout circular and there is an attempt that is made by an accused to leave the country, remember, a summons are usually sent out so that the person can explain as to why exactly was he leaving the country. Now, that's as per protocol. In fact, in a short while from now, we're going to put out full details of the investigation that has been carried out by the Delhi Police Economic Offences Wing. What are the charges that he essentially faces? Remember, Ashneer Grover happens to be the face of Shark Tank, has been perhaps the darling of social media too. But the reality is this: some very serious charges faced by Ashneer Grover. We look into those charges that have been leveled against him. What is it that Bharat Pay essentially has to say with regards to this entire matter? Remember, they're the original complainant in this particular case. Take a look at this report and then we put out the details of the status report.
Businessman Ashneer Grover was stopped at the Delhi airport on Thursday night as he and his wife were leaving for New York. Grover and his wife were stopped at the airport over a lookout circular issued by Delhi Police's Economic Offences Wing. The notice was issued earlier this week by the agency as it is probing alleged fraud at an online payment portal. Ashneer Grover, meanwhile, has posted on social media that he wasn't served a notice till he left for the airport. Grover also added in the social media post that the notice was delivered to his house today morning. Grover has said that he will cooperate with the Economic Offences Wing. Bharat Pay, the firm Grover was a co-founder of, has filed a complaint against him claiming fraud. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Well, according to the Delhi Police, the first breaking news that we're getting in is that firms and bank accounts were opened only for siphoning funds, and 8 HR firms that have been linked to Grover family. That's point number one that emerges from the investigation that has been carried out. In fact, I'm holding the status report and I would just like to quote with regards to what are these firms all about, how are they essentially linked. Now, if you simply go by this particular status report, in which they're essentially talking about the investigation, and they've put out details of the consultancy firms. Now, these are the consultancy firms that have been named in the status report. In the first consultancy firm, Delhi Police says it is a Vardhaman Marketing, which is linked to proprietor Ashima Jain. Then you have, again, linked to Madhuri Jain, that's wife of Ashneer Grover. A second consultancy firm which goes by the name of Impulse Marketing, linked to Madhuri Jain once again. That's Grover's sister-in-law, Impulse Marketing. Vista Services is linked to Madhuri Jain's sister-in-law once again. I beg your pardon, it's Ashneer Grover's sister-in-law. Evolve Biz Serve, linked to Seema Jain, wife of Sushil Jain. Madhuri Jain, Grover's real aunt, is what the Delhi police says. Team Source, once again a company linked to Ashneer Grover. Team Works, True Work Company, Vikas Enterprises. Now these are the firms that have been allegedly linked to Ashneer Grover. Now what are the charges that have been leveled against him? Now this is what the Delhi police says from its investigation, that while he was running the operations of Bharat Pay, there were multiple firms that were opened. These firms also had bank accounts, and these bank accounts allegedly received funding in some way or the other from Bharat Pay, which is the original complainant in this particular case. They say a copy of fake invoices have also been recovered. Now, clearly, this is what the Delhi police says. Physical verification of alleged about 33 non-existing fake vendors have also been done. It was found that addresses of 23 vendors were not proper, correct or traceable. 10 firms' addresses and credentials were found genuine. Bank account statements of these firms have been obtained, and the same is required to be thoroughly analyzed. They also make this sensational allegation after going through the company's documents. They say fake invoices, I'm quoting the Delhi police here, fake invoices were created at a later stage after the opening of bank account of these firms. These firms were established and their bank accounts were opened only for the purpose of siphoning of funds and for causing wrongful gain to the alleged persons. Now that's the allegation that has been leveled by Delhi police. Let me also bring in my colleagues Harsha, who's joining us on this broadcast, and Piyush Ori, our reporters on the ground, getting us the latest details. They've also spoken to the Delhi Police Economic Offences Wing to get us more details of the searches that were carried out, also linked to this very case. First to you, Harsha, with regards to the investigation that has been carried out so far. What is it that you're picking up from the Delhi Police Economic Offences Wing? How far have they reached in terms of the investigation? Because Ashneer Grover says that there is no case against him, nothing that stands out.
So, Shravan, initially, right now, through our sources in Economic Offences Wing, we have got to know that more than 15 recruitment firms were made, and during that point of time, in 2019 till 2021. And also, there were several invoices which are created backdated, and also the bank account numbers which were associated with these invoices were created after the dates when they were raised. We have also got to know that Vikas Enterprises, a vendor through whom the recruitment of former CEO Sohail Sameer was done, it's also in question, and as the further course of investigation will be done by EoW, Sohail Sameer and Vikas Enterprises should also be questioned, because the joining and recruitment of Sohail was done himself by Ashneer and Madhuri Jain Grover himself. And also in either year 2019, how the amount of 7.65 crore was siphoned off directly into the accounts 5 recruitment agencies. Account was done, which was done directly by Madhuri Jain Grover. And in total, from 2019 to 2021, almost 70 to 80 crore rupees, 80 crore huge sum of money has been siphoned off into the account into this recruitment agencies on the pretext of offering recruitment. However, Bharat Pay states that no recruitment was provided by these recruitment firms. Back to you.
Let me also bring in my colleague Piyush Ori, who's been tracking this story very closely. Piyush, as I understand, summons have also been sent out. We'll put out this breaking news that I'm getting from my sources within Delhi Police, that in fact they've been asked to appear on 21st, 22nd and 23rd to basically explain the purpose of leaving the country. Ashneer Grover essentially says that there is no case that has been cut out against him. He also makes the allegation against the Bharat Pay management with regards to the fact that these are fake charges that have been leveled against him. Also says that in terms of the shares that belongs to him, effectively goes on to indicate that while he was running the management of Bharat Pay, it was far more profitable, and the very fact that the company essentially owes him.
So yes, Shravan, what I can just tell you is that there has been a bad blood between Ashneer Grover and the promoters of Bharat Pay ever since he was unceremoniously sacked. However, the key point over here is that on 11th of May, Resilient Innovation Technologies, the one company which runs Bharat Pay, actually filed a complaint against Ashneer Grover, and following which the Economic Offences Wing of Delhi Police began its investigation. So it was on 11th of May when the case was filed against Ashneer Grover and his wife. Now, in order to challenge this FIR and in order to quash this FIR, Ashneer Grover did take the stand of the court and he went to Delhi High Court to quash the FIR. However, that did not help, and the Delhi High Court said that the investigation in this matter should be done only after the due process of law is followed. Then only they will see that whether there is anything vicious or anything which is vitiated in this process or not. On this, just 2-3 days back, the Delhi police filed a status report in which it has made some startling revelations of how Ashneer Grover was siphoning off the funds of Bharat Pay. More so, it was siphoning off the funds which was paid to Bharat Pay, which is a startup, which was a startup then by Sequoia Capital, and was using it for his own personal benefits. And it has been alleged that how Ashneer Grover, by creating several dubious HR firms, had taken away and had siphoned off, had swindled away more than rupees 53 crore in amount. Now, Ashneer Grover, who has been silent on this charge ever since this FIR has been registered against him, took to Twitter, took to X platform and mentioned about how all these are vitiating charges. In fact, he also had a...
Piyush, I'll just request you to stay on with us because I'm given to understand some breaking news now coming in. Piyush, I'll just request you to stay on. We're just getting in some more breaking news right now. My colleague Harsha getting us more details. The copy of fake invoices ranges from 2019 to 2021 that has been provided to Economic Offences Wing. More than 70 crore rupees payment was done to the recruitment companies. However, the company never provided any recruitment, is what we are essentially picking up from our sources within the Delhi Police Economic Offences Wing. Now, important to point out here, Harsha, is that the charge that has been levelled is that these companies were floated for the purpose of carrying out recruitment. According to the Delhi Police, no such services or consultancy services were actually provided to Bharat Pay, and these were fake invoices that were raised. A total of 8 such firms that have come under the scanner. What more do you have?
So, Shravan, 5 out of these 8 recruitment services are directly linked with the family members of Madhuri Jain Grover and Ashneer Grover. In fact, the father, brother, sister-in-law, all are directly representing these firms. However, what you've got to know that these firms don't exist on paper. And in the year, for example, I'd like to tell Shravan that in the year 2019, in August, one invoice was created on 7th August of 30.99 lakh. And the account number was created later on 20th August 2019. Similarly happened in November and October as well. And in the year 2019, 2022, 2020 October and September, October, and in 2021 January, February, March, April. These are the months we have got to know when the fake invoices were created, and all the invoices were backdated. And therefore, the detailed investigation is being done by the Economic Offences Wing. And however, none recruitment happened except for Sohail Sameer, who was recruited through Vikas Enterprises. We have got to know that this vendor, Vikas Enterprises, it is very close to the family of Madhuri Jain Grover and is directly linked with Ashneer Grover. And therefore, the entire length of the investigation could also be conducted around the dubious recruitment of former CEO Sohail Sameer as well. And the sum of money which is involved is huge. In 2019, it was 7.65 crore payment which was done. At that time, Madhuri Jain Grover was herself looking into it, and therefore the charges are directly against Ashneer Grover and Madhuri Jain Grover, how they have benefited their family members by floating fake recruitment companies and through dubious transactions. Back to you.
Well, in fact, let's just put out that breaking news now coming in from our sources within the Delhi Police Economic Offences Wing that Ashneer Grover and his family members have now been asked to appear before the agency on the 21st, 22nd and 23rd of November. This is part of the protocol, or rather procedure, because remember, a lookout circular has been issued and he was stopped at the airport. Largely, he would be asked to explain the purpose of leaving the country. However, Ashneer Grover has already put out a social media statement on this entire matter. He raises questions about the fact that he's had multiple foreign trips in the last few months since the investigation began. He was never stopped at the airport. This time, a lookout circular has been issued. He says it would not be difficult to prove before the court that he does not pose as a flight risk. Let me just quickly also bring in my colleague Piyush for a quick word. Piyush, before I just ask you to give us more details of the investigation, as per the status report, I understand they are largely focusing on 8 consultancy firms, and I'm quoting from page number 7, in which they're essentially talking about that all alleged 8 HR firms belongs to family members or relatives of alleged Madhuri Jain, Suresh Jain, father of Madhuri Grover, and Shweta Jain, brother of Madhuri Jain. So it's all family members that have been linked here. A quick word from you with regards to why exactly has Ashneer Grover and his family members been called by the Delhi Police Economic Offences Wing. Anything more that you're picking up?
So what I can just tell you is, Shravan, that yes, it is now going to be very interesting to see that when Ashneer Grover, along with his wife, would finally come to Delhi Police Economic Offences Wing for getting probed. It will be very important to note that why actually were these dubious firms created by Ashneer Grover, who apparently also was the founder of Bharat Pay. And there are very startling allegations. It has been alleged that how the funds from Sequoia Capital, which was getting funded into Bharat Pay, the Resilient Innovation Technologies, was being used by Ashneer Grover for creating these 8 HR firms that you just rightly mentioned, and was being used to thereby take out the money from there for his own personal benefit. So yes, from the questioning which is now going to be done by Delhi Police, probably on the dates of 21st, 22nd and 23rd, the Delhi Police will definitely like to know from Ashneer Grover and his wife that why actually did Ashneer Grover create these shell firms, and why actually were these money, which amounts to more than rupees 53 crores, was swindled and taken away by Ashneer Grover. Back to you in the studio.